I am not recording, and Justin has his hand up. Yes, sir.
Did
Oh,
you send copies of the hard copies of the music yet or no?
no, because of COVID, we're trying not to send hard copies. What I
No, but
said,
I meant digital. I meant not a hard copy, but did you send it digitally?
yes. All the
Okay,
pieces should in that last email where you got the Zoom link.
the last email. Okay,
Okay.
let me go back and look. Thank you. Sorry.
No worries. Thanks. That's great. And then for everyone else, if you're Justin's experiencing a little bit of lag, if I start getting slow or cutting out on you, just stop your video for a second. That oftentimes helps. Um, and sometimes if you're like, hey, I can hear everything better without the video, feel free. I would love to see your faces and all that stuff, but um, I would rather have you hear everything and see everything. So that's kind of how that's going to go. So let's stand, shall we? All right. And if you're watching this on a recording because you were so excited about the debates tonight, welcome. Good to see you all. We are going to, I know some of us are avoiding them. Let's just go ahead and stretch. Let's get our bodies going. So slowly stretch up. Just kind of hold our hands there. If you could, you can't see, but I'm doing this whole thing above my head. Take a couple low, deep breaths. Let it down. As we go up this time, take a nice big belly breath, nice and slow and expansive as we slowly bring our arms up. Here we go. But as we're up here, let one out. Breath, I mean. Take one more deep breath in from the belly, slowly. And slowly let out as we drop our arms. Good, let's roll our shoulders forward. And roll our shoulders backward. Let's do one more, just let it all out. Slow, deep breath in. Arms up, and go ahead and lean to one side. Feel the expansion here. Take a few deep breaths. Switch to the other side. Slowly go. Taking nice deep breaths the whole way. Oh, that's nice. And all the way up. And slowly, carefully go back. Don't hurt yourself. And as we drop our arms, slowly exhale. Yay, we have someone else joining us. Wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of shake it out. Arms, get your legs going. Let's do a couple, sorry. Oh, I know for some of us, it's like, oh man, I forgot that this is all a part of singing, yes? Can you tilt your head to one side? Slowly roll back. Remember to keep that breath going the whole time. Hello, Deborah, good to see you. All right, and this one, we're just gonna stretch our heads backward like this. And what I want you to feel is as we do that, feel your tongue. The base of your tongue will do a little stretch there. And if you feel inclined, give yourself a little massage. Right around your larynx, that is your voice box. If you want to massage all that stuff around there, don't hurt yourself. That's nice. Now just so relaxed. Can we start with a ooh in your own range? Do a couple more on your own. Ooh. Remember, it's always relaxed. So the other thing I'm going to say is many of you are in situations where you may feel like your family can hear you or your roommates or whoever you live with. I'm very aware of my neighbors. I live in a small apartment. I think this is the time where you're just like, hey, I'm going to be a little selfish. Because I think we want to give as much sound as we would in a choral rehearsal. So just be brave, be bold, do all the things, okay? Let's do a couple of lip trills on your own. Go. Maybe start one from the very bottom and we'll go all the way to the very top like such. Go ahead. All right, and last one, just to remember our singing posture. Can you put your legs a little bit about shoulder width apart? Some people like to do one foot in front of the other, so you kind of have like an athlete stance. I think that works as long as you feel grounded, right? And let's just take one low belly breath from here. So remember, you want to feel the abdominal breath is from the front as well as the back. You should feel all this expand, as well as kind of the pelvic floor dropping. So try to just experience all that. Take a couple low breaths, nice and slow on your own, and experiment with that, okay? All this. Give yourself one more. Now, while we're singing, if you're like, that's as much as I can focus on while also singing, hey, Don, good to see you. If that's about all you can focus on, wonderful. That's your goal for tonight. If you're like, got it, the abdominal breath is my friend, let's now work on, this is intercostal breathing, so really focusing on your ribs. So all this around here, locate like kind of the bottom of your rib cage to the top. Really, I mean, it shouldn't go higher than your armpit. The goal is to not go, right? Like many of us think. So really try to feel the breath. Do you see how all that expands this way? Try a couple of those on your own, nice and slow. One more on your own. Good. I know this can seem tedious when we haven't sung in so long. You're like, let's get to it, but this is so good for us. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to combine the two, if you can. So remembering to expand from here, here, all the way around, and as well as down here. Okay, so all this should kind of, so do two of those.
Did everybody else lose Mike, or is it just me?
All right.
Okay,
Awesome, too.
we're back. We're back. Okay.
Oh, did I cut out? Okay. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to try to take one of those expansive breaths over the count of 4 beats. So try to make it completely even over the full 4 beats. And then we're going to let it out 4 beats. You're going to feel, and we're going to do it on like a sizzle or a hiss. It's going to feel like you're getting rid of air quickly, right? So we'll do 2 of these. So 4 beats in, 4 beats out, 4 beats in, 4 beats out. Okay, here we go. Let it on. And in, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and in. 3, 4. You should feel like you're just putting out way too much air, right? We're gonna do the same thing now, where we breathe in, same expansive slow breath with an open throat, and we're gonna let it out for 8 beats and try to make it consistent breath over the entire 8 beats, okay? Just let it out. And in, 2, 3, 4. And in, 2, same thing, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the challenge there is trying to keep the same breath flow throughout while feeling that resistance. Can we do the same thing? And this time when you engage the, can you feel right here? You should feel a little bit of engagement right? As if you're almost flexing. I don't want to say the word flexing, but you should feel that. Okay. So let it all out. And in, 2, 3, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, go. Nice. How'd we do? Lovely. I'm going to do a lot of this. This is like, I'm nailing it. I'm perfect. Oh, can you all, sorry, will you stay standing for a second? This is, I could use some practice. Almost there. This is like, dude, I have no idea what you just said. Okay. Let's go ahead and start. Can you all say, ooh? But do it one more time as we breathe in. Can you feel the whole back of your throat just open up? And it helps if you want to do this with your hand as well. Ooh. Yes, so do you see it's kind of like the funnel shape? Ooh. I look so silly. I do all these things in choir rehearsal and I never have a camera on myself to watch how silly I look. So this is really fun for me. Let's do. I'm not even worried about the pitches as much as I am the space and legato stream of air. Even if you slide a little bit, wonderful. Here we go. Sorry, I need to admit somebody. Can I, real fast? Becky, can I make you a co-host? So if someone else pops in and you happen
Yeah, totally.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I should have thought of that first. Here we go. Here we go. Hi, Andrea. Good to see you. Is everything okay? Oh. All right. We're just doing some warm-ups, getting back in the habit. Keep going. Here we go. Two more. Breathe through the mouth. Last one. Great. So what I love about this is I'm able to see all of your vowel shapes and it looks lovely. I can't hear you, which makes me want to cry. But what's cool about this is normally in choir, it's so much listening, right? That's most of what choir is listening and being amazing with the group. This is really a great opportunity for us to really just work on our own personal vocal technique. So that's why we're going to do a fairly long warm-up right now, just to build some good habits. But that's kind of, since you're singing alone, you can really just kind of hone in and act like this is a personal voice lesson. So if you have questions or if you have ideas or anything like that, always feel free to let me know. Okay, let's go here. And this is something I've been, you know how I always do the lip buzz or lip trill? Can you try, this is gonna be like a raspberry. And the air is going beneath my tongue. If you could look. Try that. Will you just try a couple of those on your own? Look. If you're not comfortable with that and it's not working out, sometimes it like doesn't vibrate enough, go back to the lip trill if you need to. But just something to keep all this relaxed while also feeling a little bit of that resistance, okay? And we're just gonna go. The goal being here, all consistent airflow. You don't wanna go. Do you hear I'm kind of stepping on the gas? All consistent. Here we go. Last one. How are we doing? This good? All right. I know that one's tricky. If you can practice the raspberry this week, to me, that's kind of changed the game as far as the resonators go, right? Let's do a couple more. We're going to start down here. And two more. Sorry. Nice. Can we actually keep doing that same thing? And remember, this is more for clarity. It's not really, it's to bring the sound forward, but also to just bring clear tone. So, and yan, 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 yan. It's an ugly sound, but it's not to be yan, 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 and yan, 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 yan. Particularly for the two tenor basses we have here. I'm not sure what you'll be singing this time. I feel, and this absolutely applies to myself as I get higher. Yan, 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 yan. Get a little bit breathier, right? Yan, 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 yan. Really bring that out. Really kind of in the mask. Let's go here. Yan, 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 yan. Here we go. Yan, 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 yan. Last one. Good. Say, woo. Let's do just one more for now, just to get some of those higher notes. We know this one well. I love to sing and go. To sing. I love to sing. I love to sing. Good. As we're doing this one, trying to keep that same, I feel as someone who sings the lower part, I feel like I'm really excited for that low note. I love to sing, right? Trying to keep this all still the same thing. I love to sing. All nice and consistent. Okay. Let's do it in that key. Here we go. I love to sing. I love to sing. I love to sing. Did I freeze?
I missed Brenda. So where are they showing up in the waiting room? Because I did not see Brenda pop in there. I don't know if it's giving me notifications.
This is going great. What did you say?
I just saw her pop in.
No, yeah, I think Mike let her in. I'm just saying I didn't get a notification that Brenda was waiting to join the call, so I don't know if it's giving me notifications.
So if you click on this underneath participants, do you see all like the names?
Uh-huh.
Usually above that, it'll say like Brenda joined the waiting room.
Okay, I did not get that notification, just so you know.
You let me in right away.
That was Mike. Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you. So generally, you won't have to deal with my piano playing, but Brenda was coming from across town, and so good to see you.
Good to see you too. I just thought I'd check in and watch what you're all doing.
Perfect.
Normally, Brenda would be with me, and you won't have to deal with my bad, but I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay.
Don't let me interrupt.
Oh no. All right.
We'll talk about it after today. I don't know that I'm gonna get those notifications like you are, since you're like, it's your call, like you own the call. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the notifications that people are waiting or not.
Okay. Well, if I see
I
anybody,
think we can change the setting for the meeting to not need the waiting room, so we'll just figure it out.
yeah, it's like the Jeffco thing. So we're all learning. This is great. Okay, go ahead and have a seat. I just wanted to do a fairly long warm up since we haven't. I mean, I can't speak for you, but I haven't really been in choir for 6 months, so it's very easy to forget how some of these things go. But let's start. Let's go ahead and jump into some rep, and we'll talk about kind of virtual choir, what that's going to look like. We'll try to end a little bit early so we can answer some questions that may have come up this week. I'm sure. I mean, this is a different world we're living in, so this is but how lucky we are to have Zoom, man. This is great. And it seems to work well. And there are so many good things that are going to come from it. I think we're going to grow as independent musicians and all that kind of stuff. Really listen to ourselves, whereas most cases we're listening to others. So all good stuff. So if you would, it would be swell if you have a pencil on you and you have a place. Obviously, like if you're sitting in a computer chair, I know that's, or a couch or something that's a little bit harder to sit up. I want to encourage you to sit as if you're in rehearsal, where you're sitting at the edge of your seat, feet flat on the floor. Obviously, do whatever you're capable of doing. This is probably going to fall off like 15 times tonight. And I apologize for my fairly out of tune piano. So this is all good stuff. Let's pull out Winter Dream. If you have a hard copy, that'll be wunderbar. And I think most of us have sung this. So this should feel familiar. But let's just review. And remember, this is all in unison. And for right now, don't worry about anything except for just trying to familiarize yourself with it. If you remember some of the things we talked about last time we sang this, feel free to incorporate those, but mostly just to kind of get comfortable with this. Y'all see where we're at? Measure 3. Awesome. I don't see any hands raised, so I assume we're all at the same spot. Here we go. Autumn. I'm glad. Was that Gabriella? Gabriella, remember, we're all going to stay muted as we are singing. All right, let's try that one more time. Here we go. Autumn, close your eyes. Your song is passing to silent silver skies and fading light for 1,000 frosty miles. I see voices call, and 1,000,000 frozen stars begin to fall. Do you remember this pretty well? Thumbs up. All right, cool. So, since that is the case, and we're not really learning notes, which I think is a great way to start virtual choir, can we do the same thing on that lip buzz? Or if you can do the raspberry. And when you have repeated notes, don't worry about repeating them. So we don't want to hear, right? Because that'll get in the way of your airflow. Okay, let's try that. Here we go. How do we do? I know this is not people's favorite thing, but I promise you it's such a good habit to get into. Let's try it one more time. And the other thing that helps, because I think what happens is we take such big breaths and then we only get rid of like half of our air, and then we go to take another big breath and we're like, we feel like an oboe player. We're just like having all this bad air. So breathe for the phrase. So for instance, and fading light. If you don't need that much air for that, don't take such a big breath there, okay? Good, let's try one more time from the beginning. Here we go. Yes, I know. I won't make you do that all night, I promise. But that's so good for you because to me, I used to think those were such long phrases. And it's because I was expelling too much air, right? They're really not that long of phrases. So let's go back to text and try to keep all that legato. Autumn, close your eyes. Your song is passing. Almost like they're not different notes. It's just you're singing long notes that happen to have consonants and things in the middle. Here we go. Was that a little easier? You enjoy that more, I'm sure. But I bet you sing it better because you did the literal thing. Great, let's go on now. So looking on, the downbeat of measure 11 has poco più mosso. So if you have a pencil you want to write in, that means a little bit more motion. So dust of ivory dancing on water of glass. It'll go a little bit faster there. Let's not go quite so fast right now, but just be prepared. Sorry. Good, let's try this. So just playing that so we can get it in our head a little bit. Pick up to measure 11, dust of ivory. Here we go. Two, and. Oh, isn't this so lovely? I love this piece. So remember that in the top of whatever page that is, where we left off, cold sleeping grass all around the wind. So we're going to gradually slow down. Grass all around, and then right back into tempo. That's what a tempo means. Good, let's do it again. And pick up to measure 11. So remember that as singers, and I'm not a great piano player, but I think when I play it on the piano, it's quite rhythmic. We want to keep that rhythmic vitality, but dust of ivory dancing on water of glass. Winter. So just try to connect all of this as much as you can. Just really long notes, okay? Let's try that. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Here we go. Dust of ivory dancing on water. And off right on 3 there. All right, self-assessment. Just like I'm perfect. I'm ready to record this tonight on my virtual choir. Obviously, so let me point out, this one, obviously, you don't need to find your part. You all have your part. This is one where I think just focusing really on technique, phrasing, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll add that to other parts and stuff like that. Good, you sound great. Let's talk through real fast, just because this one I know that has kind of a roadmap. So if you need to take out a pencil and make notes, that's great. If you know how these musical roadmaps work, you're fine. But, so going on, we just sang page 1, the first page. We sang the second page. We just ended up on the 3rd page, yes? So then there's this little interlude. At the bottom of the page, you see, for 1,000 frosty miles, I see voices call. That was so musical. When we get to measure 27, this is the same thing, the dust of ivory. Do you all see that weird looking S next to piumoso? Raise your hand if you could tell me, what does that mean? Does anybody remember the crazy, you can tell me the English word or the Italian word. Or if you just know what it means. Oh, wonderful. This is dal segno. Oh, Kim?
Oh, I didn't know I'd have to actually go. I thought it was when it sends us back to the coda, that's where we come back to.
Yep, exactly. Is that what you're gonna say, Deborah?
Yes.
Beautiful. This is great, and I will call on you. Sure, why not? So will you circle that at measure 27? I'm gonna circle that little weird S thing. That means dal segno, which means in English the sign. When we get to the next page, do you see how at the top of the page it says second time to coda? I'm going to circle that as well because that's also going to be important information. Skip that for now. We're going to go to the very last page of music. At the top of the page, right here, it says dal segno al coda. So when we get there, you're going to go to dal segno, the sign, which is all the way back at measure 27. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me say all that one more time, just because I know this is complicated even in rehearsal. So honestly, you can skip all that for now. I was just making note of it. When we get to the very last page of music, we're going to see dal segno up in the corner. When we get to that point, you go back to measure 27. So actually, if you want, right here, on the last page, will you write to measure 27? I saw your question, Dustin. I'm gonna. Go ahead. Well, everybody's kind of writing that in.
There we go. Are you on the next piece already?
No,
Are
still
you still
Winter Dream.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm still there. Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Sorry.
No, this is great. So last page, dal segno, we're going to go to measure 27. We're going to sing from measure 27 through the top of the next page where we notice that second time to coda. That's why I had you circle that. This is in measure 33. And then there, you're going to go to the coda, which is on the last page, second system. Dream, autumn. Honestly, if you know the music pretty well, you'll be fine. If none of that made sense, you'll be fine. We'll go over this again in the future. But just know that after all around the, what key are we in? The dream, and then we sing, autumn, close your eyes, your song is passing. And then we kind of have this weird little fade out. So, congratulations, you know the entire first piece. So, if you would, and it would be helpful to get in the habit of this now, if you have a black folder, unless you want to do the virtual choir stuff memorized, I assume most of us will do it with like a black folder in our hand. So whenever we do run-throughs, it might be helpful for you to start getting in the habit of like singing and looking up at a computer screen. But no worries if you don't want to do that tonight. I was going to say, let's just run it all, if we can. From the very beginning, we're going to skip the interludes because we don't have the fabulous Brenda here with us. But we will get used to that next time. And we'll probably listen to it in a second, just so that we can kind of make sense of all that roadmap stuff, okay? So right at measure 3, sitting well or standing, your choice. Lots of phrase, lots of connection, right? No notey singing, just all connecting. Here we go. Two, off. 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 Off, and then the violin will go yada dee dum bum. Let's just go next entrance. This is pick up to measure 23, bottom of the page. 4,000, 2 and 3 and 4. Crescendo, off. Two, off. Off. Off, and then we'll go back to tempo 1. You see there's this little interlude stuff. Now we're going to go to the top of the last page. And we're going to sing dust of. And then as soon as you sing dust of, you're already back at 27. Do y'all see how that works? Here we go. You're going to go to the last page. Two, da, 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 da. Sorry. And then we have this little hand up in E flat major. No way. Good job. Give yourself a pat on the back. Sounded great. Normally I would say give yourself a high five or give your neighbor a high five, but maybe give a high five to the window next to you. Yeah, self five. Boom. Yeah. I love it. So that one's going to be awesome. I was going to say let's listen to it, but I think since we know it. And so the other thing I was going to mention is the click tracks. I said we were going to send out this week. Talking to Blake, who is our amazing virtual choir creator, we'll say, I found out the process is going to be a little bit more complicated. So if you would like, I can go ahead and just record myself playing the piano. Otherwise, we're going to have to record it, Brenda's part first, make the tracks according to that, because I'm not going to be conducting this since you're going to be listening to a track. So we're going to try to find something that's exactly the tempo that you can start practicing with. So then when I take time and that kind of stuff, you won't have to learn several different transitions. You're like, I know exactly how this part goes. But if you want to practice in the meantime, just search. The first thing that comes up is if you type in his name, James Desjardins, Winter Dream. Just there's several versions. Make sure you do the unison version. And then the other thing I was going to say about that is just the singing. It's very good for learning your notes, but it's very musically bland. And you sing with much more passion than that. So don't get caught in that trap. And they also sing like, "Autumn, close your eyes." So it's very breathy. So don't feel afraid to give it some core when you're listening to them, okay? Great. That one's going to go so well. And I think if you remember some of the things that we've talked about when we've done that piece in the past, that'll be helpful. We're going to do a lot of shaping stuff. But since that one's easy, figured it would be a good opportunity to kind of get our feet wet with the virtual choir thing. Raise your hand if you've done a virtual choir before and you've like recorded yourself. A couple of us. Okay. Yeah. So from the 3 people who just raised their hand, was that?
I've never done it before.
Yeah. So it's, what I'll say is that the first time you do it, you're like, oh my gosh, this feels so weird. You're not with all your people and that kind of stuff. We're going to try to crank this one out fairly quickly so you can see the fruit of your works, because it might feel weird the first time. And maybe not even as fulfilling as it normally would be in choir, because you're not getting the full community aspect. But be brave, coraggio, you know. And then I think when you, and if you're one of those people who's super self-critical, don't listen to it. If you're not super self-critical, listen to it. You might love it. I think my voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard, so I don't like listening to mine. But then when you see like, oh, wow, that sounds really lovely with all the other voices, you know? So that's all I'm going to say about that. Just be brave, have courage. You all have beautiful voices. So, okay. Before we get going today, let's do Shalom, Chaverim. I think most of us have sung this one as well. But I just also want to get in the habit of just creating good technique, good habits. We will do some sectional work next week to do some parts. But for now, we'll all just sing in unison, just the tune. So yeah, if you need your music, use it. We're essentially going to do the part 2 if you're looking at music. If you know the tune, you don't need to look at your music. Let's sing it all in unison on text the first time. Here we go. Shalom Chaverim, Shalom Chaverim, Shalom, Shalom. Lehitraot, Lehitraot, Shalom, Shalom. Yeah, you all remember this pretty well? Lovely. Can we sing it on Lululu? Do you have a question, Kim? Or are you just saying, yes, I know it?
No, I actually had a question, but I do know it. The vowel for H-I-T?
Heat.
Heat. Like H-E-A-T?
Yeah, or like, I would say like H-E-E-T even. Yeah.
Okay.
Le, and the other one that is problematic with this ensemble, and probably most ensembles, let's be real, le heat. I think we have a tendency to say le heat because we see the E. And if you're tempted to do that, I would almost just take your pencil and every time, say pick up to measure 7. If you just get rid of the E and put like UH, le heat. Good. So let's now do it on Lulu. Say woo. Good. Let's do it with all that hooty space. And don't, let's not muscle it out too much right now. Just nice and relaxed. And remember, as we get higher, not to forget about that space, okay? Particularly on the high D. Sitting well, 2, and sing. I cannot hear your voices, but seeing your faces when you sing is... I miss this, man. Oh, man. Okay. Whew. Let's sing it on text again. And can we now add some shapes? So, body small phrase, body bigger phrase, and here we taper. Yadi, then we. So the second half of that can kind of lehit raot lehit. Remember to aim for those downbeats, but in the context of the bigger shape. Here we go. Let it grow. Sorry. You're great. This is great. Can you say Lahitra? Oh, say that. Lahitra. Oh, so that's gonna be the shape every time. Lahitra. Lahitra. Apparently, I can't sing, conduct, and play at the same time. All right, let's try just.
Michael,
Yes.
are you flipping that R a little bit?
Yes. No American words. Good question. Le hit ra. If you say ra, I will cry. I'm just kidding. Let's try right on the
So if you can't flip your R, what would you like us to do there?
ra. If you can do it just a very gentle D sound. Le hit ra, 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 or fake it. Le hit out. Yeah, if you leave off a consonant, nobody notices. But if you go, that'll, Blake will have, no, I was gonna be like, Blake will have to edit it out. I'm just kidding. We will not be editing out people's voices, I promise. Okay, right on le heat, pick up to 7. So this is kind of the peak of the phrase, and then we let it die from here. With support. 2 and sing. Nice. I love seeing the shapes of your mouths. So like I said, next week we'll do some parts on that. I know that the debates are going on tonight. Next week we'll do like probably the first hour will be either tenors and basses or sopranos and altos. Does anybody have Well, we're gonna mix it up, so that's why I asked for the whole 2 hours. I was about to be like, who has a preference? We're not gonna do that. April.
So I have a quick question. Moving forward, will rehearsals be 2 hours or?
So 2 hours for me and Brenda. For everybody,
Okay.
maybe 1 hour, just because we'll probably separate tenors and basses from like 7 to 8, let's say, and then 8 to 9 will be sopranos and altos. And then some weeks, because some of the music is 2-part, I might be like, okay, altos and basses for the first hour, sopranos and tenors. So as long as you always plan for the 2 hours, and then every week you'll have an hour off. And then what I said in my little blurb this week is that'll also give you an opportunity to not have to spend outside of time. So let's say sopranos and altos, we rehearse from 7 to 8. Then from 8 to 9, you could work on like your next virtual choir submission. So I think Winter Dream is due in 2 weeks. So after next week's rehearsal, you might be like, oh, we rehearsed from 7 to 8, 8 to 9, I'm gonna go record that song. Does that make sense? So you're not spending hours outside of the 7 to 9 slot. All right. Any other questions regarding virtual choir or even just virtual rehearsals? Andrea.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, now I can't.
You remuted yourself. Mike, can you unmute her?
I can only, there she goes.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, now
Oh.
we can.
Do you want me to sing tenor or alto? Do you have enough guys?
You know what's cool about virtual choir is that, I mean, if we have an imbalanced group, we can always add volume to one group. So I'm
Oh, okay.
for the first time, sing what you want. Unless we have like 47 altos and 1 soprano. Raise your hand if you're an alto, if you would prefer to sing alto. 5, raise your hand if you'd prefer to sing soprano. 1, 2, 3. Some of you are choosing to not raise your hand because I think you're being team players. I love that. And a lot of it, so like Shalom, we have soprano, alto, split. Tenors and basses are all in unison for this one. Winter Dream, we're in unison. The Gloria piece we're doing is 2-part, and I think the way we've done that in the past is altos and basses sing the bottom line, sopranos and altos sing the top line, or sopranos and tenors sing the top line rather. And then for the cold and, oh, I haven't told you guys about this. So we did cold and fugue season, remember last year, and it was super silly. And so right now I'm working on some alternate lyrics for that, which are gonna be all COVID related. So it'd be like a cute little, hey, we just want to sing this classy fugue for you, but I'm home and on a Zoom screen, something like that. So that'll be fun. And I think that's probably
I love that idea. I love it.
thanks, Dustin. So that's probably how we're gonna start the virtual card. So that people are like, oh, this like holiday thing. And then it's like, oh, very silly right off the bat. Yes. So sing whatever you want for now. That'll be great. Adele?
Well, in your note to us, you mentioned concert dress for the recordings.
Yes. So that, unless anybody else objects, I think what we've done for like when we go caroling is just have you wear holiday clothing, festive colors. If you want to wear an ugly sweater, beautiful. Some people wear like the ears, totally, or like an elf thing or whatever, you know. Just fun.
Concert attire is real loose this time.
Yeah, we're not like all concert, like just very fun and silly.
So fun and silly and not really concert dress.
Right. Concert, it's like, that is our,
Holiday wear, festive wear.
yeah,
Thank you.
of course. Deborah?
How many tries do we get to record our part? Can we record it and then say, I don't like that version?
So what's great about this is that it's up to you. So like when you're at home recording, you can do a full take and say, ooh, I don't feel good about that one. I'm going to delete it, start over.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to send it in to us until you feel confident about it.
Okay.
And then if from there, I mean, I think Blake, if you saw the video that Blake made for Anima Chamber Ensemble, and that's like a bunch of moving parts and he does good work, I think we're going to sound great. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That should be on the email I just forwarded you, Deborah. I'm sorry you didn't
It's a
make that
good
email list
thing
for some reason.
to time bound yourself though, because you will just disappear for 3 days trying to get a perfect take. So like you may want to be like, I'm gonna do 5 and choose my favorite.
yes,
25.
you can be like, oh, I'm totally like that D flat. I totally was just like lost support on. So you can retake. The challenge with that is that in a concert, if you sing a wrong note or you sing, you know, it's like, oh, you send it out to the world and then you're done. It's kind of nice. If you're a perfectionist, don't be. Because I would never send out a single recording if it were up to me, right? Dion.
So for this holiday wear, when we send in a submission, do you want us just from the waist up? Do you want a full, all of us? How much of us do you want?
Good question. I think as well, like right here, this would be a good, and this is, so that video I mentioned, I was going to send a video demonstration. I'm going to show like, here's me, here's my device, here's like the eye level that I have my device at. So I'll send all these things, but yes, I think from here is good as long as they can see your face. I think if I'm all the way back to where you can see my whole body, my face isn't quite as expressive and you still can't see my whole body. So
Okay.
people want to see your face. So yes, good question. Andrea.
I don't know how to record. Did you guys talk, or did you do it? I don't know. I don't at all know what you're talking about, how to record.
So that,
I mean, on here, like on Zoom, or?
You'll have one, ideally if you have two, if you have two devices, let's say I'm going to listen to the click track on my laptop. So I'll have a headphone in here.
I don't know what a click track is.
It's going to be that someone sends you and you're going to listen and it's going to have something like, and you'll sing along.
It's like a digital recording, right? Digital recording.
But it'll actually have a click as well for the, like when it goes,
It's going to be Brenda playing the piano with a metronome.
pretty much. And somebody playing your part.
Okay.
You'll
But then, do I do it on, how do I record it? I mean, like sitting here on my computer? Or?
Do you have a smartphone, Andrea, or is it just the computer that you're working with?
I have a smartphone, but I'm right on the computer right now.
Okay,
I have
so
a smartphone.
you can, probably the easiest way to do it is on the smartphone, but you could do it on the computer too if your computer has just a video recording program, which most of them come with.
So I think though you're right. I think the easiest thing is to do the smartphones. When I did it, I had the track that had been sent playing through my computer, and then I had my iPhone, you know, with like the selfie camera pointed at me, and I hit record on the iPhone, got a video of myself, and then.
Oh. So I'm gonna have to kind of practice something.
Yeah, and that's what Mike was saying. He'll send out like here I am with like my computer and my phone, and this is what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay, thanks.
I like having a music stand. You can record from your phone like this, and then having like things so you can listen to your computer while you're recording from your phone. That's what I personally do. Or if you have an iPad, that works. What I've heard though is that laptop, the built-in microphone does not work quite as well. So that's your only option. Do that. If you only have one device, you could potentially listen and record at the same time. This is just the suggestion is to listen on one device, use your smartphone for the recording process.
But don't you have headphones on? Or no, wouldn't have headphones. You'd listen, you would have headphones on?
Listen through, you would listen like you would play the click track from your computer with like headphones plugged into your computer. So your phone is not picking up the sound, like the music. It's just picking up your voice. Because so only you are hearing the music that's playing, you're singing to it. The phone is picking up what you're singing, but it's not picking up what's playing in your ear.
But then if we've got like,
and feel free to holler at me. I will come over and show you if you are still.
That's okay.
Usually we'll have like a headphone or an earpiece or something like that.
Well, for the concert, so everybody's got headphones on when they on the show.
Yep.
Oh.
So I'm gonna have just this in, ma'am. So if you don't have like big, as long as you don't do like big over ear headphones, and if that's all you have, you can do it that way and that's fine. But like, I think if you have like smaller headphones, it's not noticeable.
Okay.
You can also just do one headphone in, so you can also hear yourself singing at the same time. So it's not quite as obnoxious.
Okay. Thank you.
And we'll, like I said, we're gonna send a video out that's like, hey, this is step 1, set up this device. Is that device set up? Great. Okay, step 2, set up this. It's kind of foreign to all of us, but if you're like still not sure about the whole thing, check out that video that I sent from Blake, because it's gonna look like this. Actually, it's gonna look like a bunch of faces on a screen, and yeah, well, likely all of us will have
like the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch was the original Zoom.
True story.
Yes. All right. Any other questions about any of this process?
Did you send that thing on an email?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'll look for it. Sorry.
Yeah. Andrea, did you get, like, how did you find the Zoom? Was that just the email that you responded to today? I forget. It's been a long day.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
You got the big email with the link to the Zoom call, obviously, in the music, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was in that email. There was a link to that piece that Blake has already done, just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like.
Oh.
But we haven't sent the click tracks yet. So if you don't have a click track, that's because nobody has it.
Oh.
Correct.
Okay.
And if any of you have issues throughout this whole process, we're here to help. You know, we're all gonna learn how to do this together, and definitely don't want to leave anybody hanging just because of technology and that kind of stuff. We want to make sure that everybody has.
It's not going to be that bad, I promise. If we get through the first one, it'll be like.
And that's why.
Mike, this is Gabriella. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. What are the 4 pieces that you are planning on doing? Will you send me that by mail?
Yes, I'll probably drop it off a hard copy when I drop off your device.
Okay. Now, I was thinking too, my husband's daughter lives in Lochbuie and has invited me to use her computer at her house in Lochbuie next week. Is there a way that I could do live stream or whatever you're doing right now from her place?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, will I need some kind of? Do I need to have her email address given to you so that I can participate next week?
Yeah, that would be the easiest, Gabriella. If you want to text me, this is Becky, with her email address, I'll make sure that I send that to her with the link.
Okay, because I think from what I remember on some of this stuff is that you have to be invited by the host.
You have to be let in, but I'll get you what you need to get set up here.
Okay, so text you the her information.
Just her email address is all I'll need. Yep.
Okay, and then in terms of that computer, Mike, I'm not sure yet about getting it because what she was thinking is that she could help me with her smartphone and try to record me while I'm singing, but I don't know about the click track going to her and stuff like that. What would be your suggestion on that?
Gabrielle, we'll touch base once we get kind of figured out how we're gonna get you on a device. I think for tonight, because that's something that the two of us can talk about one-on-one.
Okay.
I think since we have the whole group here and we told everyone we're getting out at 8.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions besides that? We feel like we're pretty
No, I don't. I'm good.
Awesome. So Gabriel, I'll give you a call. Everybody else, thank you for being here. It's so great to see your faces and good to see you singing. This is huge. I know it's different than what you're used to and maybe strange and not as amazing as the first night usually would be, but I think it'll be worth it and I think we'll have a great time. So
Thank you, Michael.
questions, please.
Good night. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Becky, Dion, Brenda, Michael, can you stay on for a minute?
Yep.
Everybody else, email us if you have any questions. We love you. Mwah.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Good to see you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. And then there were.
All right, good times.
I mean, it's not top secret. I just want to kind of clarify the plan on the click tracks. And then also when I need to send a check to Blake.
So Blake said, that's a great question. I asked him. He said at the end of the process.
Okay, cool.
So the click tracks, I know I wasn't super clear on this until yesterday. He wants me to record with Brenda, and then he's going to make click tracks based off of that.
Okay, so then.
So for the first song, I think that we're like not going to have. I think I'm going to have to send an email that's like, hey, rehearse with the YouTube video for now.
Okay. Yeah, let's send that out. And then if you guys could just record it like before or after rehearsal next week, does that work?
Well, that's another thing I was going to ask you, because we're having a hard time finding a location that's kind of central enough.
Okay.
It also has an in-tune. Lutheran, are they allowing anybody in there right now? Highlands Lutheran?
Yes. So I could ask about that.
Because I was thinking maybe Brenda. Well, Brenda, you work till like 6:37 next week.
I work till 7, but I'm going to see if I can switch. I work 4 to 7. I'll see if I can switch from like 20 of 4 to 20 of 7. That way I can be only 5 minutes late or something like that,
Sure.
which shouldn't be a problem, but I have to wait till tomorrow to find out.
Okay, cool.
Great. So we can maybe even try to rehearse or run it after that if that feels good, or we can try to find another time. Blake offered his, like we could go to his place, but he lives in Parker. So I figured that was like on a different day besides Tuesday. But Brenda and I can touch base and keep talking about that. Maybe Kim, if you want to see if we're able to get in next Tuesday. I don't know if that's doable.
I feel like we may be overextending ourselves with Highlands Lutheran a bit. I'm sorry, to be honest.
Michael, are you just looking for a place to record that has a piano?
A piano that's
Yes.
in particular.
I mean, I've got 2 in my house. One's probably a tad bit better than the other, but I mean, for what we need now, I don't know, Brenda, where you are, but I'm here.
I've been to
here.
your house once. Yeah.
So it would be, but the only problem is because like right now, like this, like my piano works for like running sectionals and stuff. This would be the actual track that would go on our virtual choir. Do you think it's in tune enough that it would be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Either the one upstairs or the one in the family room. I think so. The one upstairs is a bit sharp, but I think the one downstairs is okay.
Okay,
Let's give it a try. Seems like a good plan.
that works. So then, Brenda, did we want to just try to shoot for next Tuesday, or did we want to try another night besides?
To record, you mean?
Yeah.
I can do like Friday morning if you're not busy.
I teach. I teach weekdays.
Has to be like before 9 a.m. or after 7 or 8.
Okay.
Or I've got Sunday free. Or next Monday during the day besides 4 to 7.
Yeah. It might be PM then, might be the best time, like maybe next Tuesday.
Tuesday's fine. I've got a Voices West rehearsal Monday night, but Tuesday works.
Okay, maybe Brenda, just right after choir rehearsal next Tuesday?
Well, I mean, would it be logical just to do choir rehearsal at Dion's house for you guys?
Yeah, because that would be a half hour at least drive back to her house from where you live.
Yeah, so.
And then just pop that out after choir rehearsal, Dion, as I'm offering up your home for hours.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'd be here anyhow, so yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, don't say that until you hear the piano. No, I think it should be. I think it should be okay for what we need.
Is that the green piano with all the beads on it? All the jewels?
Yeah, but the one down, that's a bit sharp in my opinion, but you guys can pick. I've got 2, so it's fine. Either one, I think. I think the one downstairs will be better, but you decide.
As long as it's better than mine. Like mine is pretty good until you like. So, oh, thanks.
I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
Mine's
So
got
what
the same
time-
problem. Kind of out of tune right there.
So what time are you thinking?
Well, so I would get there before 7.
Okay.
Because Brenda will probably be a little late, so I'll start
At
with
least.
at 7.
Okay.
And then Brenda, you would show up 7.
You live down off of South Kipling, don't you?
Yeah, Kipling and Jewel.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be at 68th and Garland. So hop down onto Kipling and head straight down. So.
Okay. Sure, that's fine.
I'll need your address again, though, if you could text me that then so I know exactly where it's at.
Do you want me to just give it to you right now?
Sure. Let me get paper.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's exciting.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. It's 12651
12651
West Asbury, Asbury Place.
Are you off by Safeway there, right?
West of Safeway.
Yeah, I know where the Asbury is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Lakewood 80228. And let me give you my phone number in case you get like lost, but you won't because GPS will get you right here. 303 842 7804.
7804. All right, great. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And we were going to record the Winter Dream, correct? Just to make sure I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So Mike, you're just gonna come before 7 and just set up and pick a piano?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be here.
It'll be awkward because there'll be like an hour of rehearsal that you won't be.
I can watch British baking shows, which is my new obsession.
Oh my God, such a good obsession.
Oh, I know. It's like I started from the beginning, and now I'm on like season 6. Yeah. No, I'll have plenty to do. Don't worry about me.
And then, Mike, if you are unable to
Heard
take
good
off that
things.
setting
Might have to check
for
Say all that again, Kim.
Mike, if you're not able to turn off the waiting room setting, I have my Oracle Zoom account that doesn't require that, so we can switch out to mine if that's not a thing you can turn off.
I think, honestly, it would probably be better for me not to be on the Jeffco Zoom anyway, because I noticed like advanced audio settings my students aren't allowed to access for some reason, which is stupid because I'm a teacher.
Cool. Well, then we can just do that. We'll use mine, and then I'll just make you co-host at the beginning. And I think that should be fine. And the way mine's set up, like even if I'm late, you guys can all get on. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
Awesome.
That's good.
Cool. Thanks.
Anyone on my team, because they're always on my Zoom before me.
So we need to make sure that Andrea and Deborah are on the list, the mail list. I'm wondering if Andrea should have been. Oh, she just was having issues clicking the link, I think. She did not receive that email. So I'm wondering it's because she didn't sing with us last season. What was that?
I was saying, which email group are we using?
The one I sent it to, you mean?
Yeah, yes. Did you do the...
Let me just double check because I want to make sure.
Spring 20...
So, yeah, so I thought we were using the all.
I did ROLCC all.
Oh, well, that should be it. So let me look at what's going on with that.
I wonder why she didn't get it then. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. Maybe it was just a one-off.
You know who's still on that? Yeah, Andrea got it.
What?
Somebody asked to not be on that, and I just realized that she is still on that.
No, she's not.
It says
I thought I took
Is she on the left when you look at it? Because the left are the people that are not on the list. The people on the right are on the list.
I'm looking at like when you...
I deleted her, like totally.
Somebody's cutting out.
Well,
what's going on?
Who was just talking besides
Becky?
Becky, will you turn off your camera maybe?
I don't know. It's probably me.
All right.
Well, I wasn't really saying anything.
So yeah, Deborah's on that list. I don't know why she wasn't getting stuff.
It's when I click, like, you know how we go to send and then you click the blue 2? It's like a link.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Is Deborah on here?
Yeah, it's 4feet@eastcentral.com.
Yep.
Yep.
And Kayla's not on there.
Really? I'm seeing it. K.E. Anderson 198. It's funny, we're still sitting like Julia Alvarez. Huh.
Well, we did ask to give people the option to unsubscribe, so we just had to make sure we actually did unsubscribe them.
So I don't think Kayla's on like the roster for the full. But
I know, but she specifically asked us to not send her on this email list anymore, and so I mean, when I checked, she's not on it.
Yeah, I deleted her from our system, I thought. But I don't know
she's
why
supposed
you're
to be a
still
contact,
seeing
but she's not. When I mean, I just did it and did the like little plus thing, and I don't see her. So I think we're good.
Weird. That's so weird. I don't know why it's showing up on mine. Anyway, that's not the biggest deal. As long as all of our people are getting the emails, that's primary concern.
All right. Well, I'm gonna actually just delete her as a contact because that should fix the problem.
That works.
All right.
Boom.
Okay, so we have a plan for getting the first click track recorded. Thank you, Dion.
You're welcome.
Yes.
And
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Brenda, I'm going to plan on sending a first check at the end of October. Is that good for you?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
remind me.
Kim, did you hear at the beginning of the meeting, I'm mailing you a dues check tomorrow morning?
Excellent.
Do we need to send out an email like with your address, or should we just wait till people say, I want to pay by check and then give it to them individually?
Maybe just ask them to email me if their preference is to send by check, and then I'll just, or email the board or whatever. We can just, I mean, whatever. I don't really care. Never mind. Just send my address. It's fine.
All right.
But I think if we could express our strong preference for people to do it, I don't know. I mean, we lose money to PayPal when we do that.
Yeah, I know.
We could express our slight preference for people to do it via PayPal, and then.
Fair enough. I've had 2 people Venmo me personally, so I can just pay it all at once through PayPal. So there's that.
I know. I was wondering why we don't just set up a Venmo for the choir.
We could totally set up a Venmo for the choir. I honestly haven't done it thus far because I haven't done that much with Venmo, and it just didn't really occur to me. So I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the implications are if you're trying to like make it a charitable donation, because I don't itemize my taxes, but we still have the PayPal link, I guess, if that's a problem. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
These are problems for a different day. Let's just get through this. But I was very excited by how many people showed up. This was very encouraging.
16.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
And I know we were missing at least 4, so this is good turnout.
That'd be 20.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Great.
Yeah.
And I did feel weird warming up with my dad and daughter hanging out in the next room, but it was nice to do.
I literally had like every member of my family at one point down here, including the dogs, just looking at me like, what are you doing right now?
All right. Well, I declare this first rehearsal a success.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Great job, everybody.
Yes,
All right. Thanks. Have a great night.
All right. See y'all in a week.
Bye.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.